G'day everyone, my name is Coolpilot and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Platinum Randomized Nuzlocke. Finally. You are probably already noticing that this is a bit of a different episode. Well, just the title is 3.5. It's not a full normal episode because I had to train everyone up in order to fight against our rival. We did name him Barry, right? I think we named him Barry. So yeah, we had to train up, get everyone up to level 9, which is the level of... Oh, it should be the level of Barry's... You should have a Charmander when we fight him. Hopefully that works right, because he should be able to keep his starter Pokemon. So we need to train everyone up to level 9, because we can't rely on Maggie to go up against Charmander, because it's weak to Ember. So we had to train everyone else up. In fact, I'm thinking... Probably be Confetti up front when I actually go to fight Barry, just because it has the highest special defense. I don't know if Charmander's going to come out first or second, so we'll kind of see. You can see there's a Rhyhorn here, and you can see the pausing. I was like, wait, why is there a Rhyhorn here? We already met a Zubat, and we met Bidoof, yes. I remember what it was, Bidoof. We met both of those in the cave already, and there should only be 2 Pokemon in this cave. Yeah, there's a Rhyhorn here. Later on, you'll also see that there's a Psyduck. There's 4 Pokemon in a cave that should only have 2 Pokemon. And it's not like a time thing. It's not that it's getting, it's replaced every Pokemon each time slot with a different Pokemon, it screwed up that setting. No, there's 4 Pokemon in here at any time. No idea why. It completely screwed up there. No idea why that's happening. Luckily, it is still balanced, which is the important thing. The Pokemon that are there are balanced in terms of what we should be encountering. So that's good. Heck, you can see the Bidoof there. But yeah, I have no idea what happened in terms of that. It's kind of weird, but at least it's still balanced. We just got extra Pokemon for some reason. Would have been nice to get a Rhyhorn, but yeah. Did take a bit of a chance there with Butters. There were a few times where I took a bit of a chance, but it'll work out at the end of the episode. I'll just tell you ahead of time, yeah, there's no deaths, which is a good thing. Got through the training montage without deaths. Did get poisoned here. I did have to deal with poison a few times because of these Ekans, which was a bit unfortunate. I slowly walked out. Counting. You can't see the poison. Well, you can kind of see the poison effect there, but that's just because it's 4 times speed here. You can't see all of the poison effects. But I was being very careful, counting the poison, counting the HP. And when it got down to the last couple, healing the poison, just to make sure I didn't accidentally faint, which would be bad. Losing a Pokemon from poison and walking. Buying another antidote just to make sure I had 2 on me. Low on money though, so I had to be really careful. Went back into the cave just because I didn't, for a little while, just because I didn't want to fight against those Ekans. But eventually went back out into the grass because I didn't want to fight the Rhyhorns. Yeah, and plus also outside you do have some Togepi's, so those are really good for experience whenever I can fight against them. And the Wynuts, while they are annoying because they have, what is it? Shadow Tag? I think is the ability, which prevents you from switching out, so you can't do switch training, which is very annoying when I was trying to train Serana up here, and Serana is very difficult to train up because it can't do much until it hits level 9 and finally learns Astonish. At this point it only knows Bug Bite, which is incredibly weak, and it's also no same time attack because it's a bug type move, and of course Zubat is poison flying. So it's a very weak move, and of course Zubat's stats are really low. Zubat's a very weak Pokemon. There's the Psyduck there. It's like, what the heck? Why is there a Psyduck here too? I think Psyduck is actually normally in here, and maybe that's what's going on in this cave, is having the normal Pokemon, Zubat and Psyduck. And Psyduck is, rare to run into. And then having 2 new Pokemon, the Bidoof and Rhyhorn. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know why it would do that, but but yeah, Serana, very weak. Zubats are very weak. When it gets up to Golbat, it'll of course be a little stronger. And of course, Crobat is actually a pretty good Pokemon. I actually quite like Crobat. I've used it several times. Even used it. I've used it in I don't remember if I used it in X or in Y. I used it in one of the two. And actually, it might have been X. And then I used it in Alpha Sapphire as well, because it's a decent Pokemon, pretty decent Pokemon. It's got a decent moveset as well. It can learn a lot of different types of moves. And I found it is just a pretty good workhorse for getting a lot of different super effective moves, and has high attack. So it's pretty dang good. But at this point, it's pretty weak. So it takes a long time to try and level it up, especially when going up against these Wynots that you can't switch out against. That's annoying. Butters also, it takes a little while to level up. Not as long, but it is also still, relatively weak. It really can at least do a fair bit with its tackle. It just takes a bit to level up. Confetti actually levels up fairly quickly, because I think I end up fighting against 2 other Togepis, and the other Togepis are too low level to do anything other than Charm. So it's just a matter of using Metronome until I get good attacking move. Here, going up against the Rhyhorn, I have to use Charm in order to lower its attack as much as possible, so that Confetti can keep using Metronome and keep getting a bunch of status moves instead of attacking moves. Or really weak ones like Air Cutter, doesn't do much against Rhyhorn. Finally get an Energy Ball to knock it out there. But yeah, it's a lot of points where I get a lot of status moves, or a lot of really weak moves, or moves that are weak against that specific Pokemon. But yeah, Confetti, I think I ended up getting that Confetti to level up against a couple other Togepis. Of course, Togepis give a lot of XP, so that was nice. I was actually able to get several Togepis towards the end of this to help finish leveling everyone up. This Signal Beam. Be good if it wasn't going up against Rhyhorn, and then heal there just to make sure, because Confetti, I definitely do not want dying. Ring Out. Just low on HP and use Ring Out, and then I finally get a freaking Lava Plume. Metronome is very unreliable, and that was the main thing that made it hard to level Confetti up, is that it is just unreliable in terms of being an attacker, because all he gets Metronome. I'm not gonna learn anything else for a while. So yeah, and of course Serrano going up against Wynots. It was at least nice that Bug Bite is super effective against Wynots, but as soon as the attack is lowered with Charm there, it's doing like 1 HP at a time. So it can take a little while to knock Wynot out. It takes a lot of PP, which I have to keep going. Another thing that takes up a lot of time, you have to keep going back to the Pokemon Center to heal up in terms of HP, but especially like here, HP is fine, but I have to go back to heal up my PP, because the ones that I need to level up the most have low PP attacks. Bug Bite is only like 15, if I remember right, and I have to use so many just to kill a single Wynot. To kill anything really, because it's low HP. Here it's going to grass. Hey, go up to Togepi for Butters. And of course Confetti, the only 10 PP for Metronome. It takes a while. You have to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it does work out in the end. Get everyone up to level 9. As I said, probably going to have Confetti up front when we do eventually fight the rival. In terms of who I'm going to actually use against Charmander, probably, well, the best ones I would think of is Confetti, because it has high special defense, Gnaw, because its defenses are decent, and its attack is decent, at this point, at least, and Butters evolving into a Metapod. So finally get at least one evolution. Of course, bug types, evolve fairly low. I think it'll evolve next at level 12, if I remember right. I'm just going completely off the top of my head. I don't even have my book out. So I think that's when it evolves. It'll evolve at least low teens, generally. So it'll have a psychic. Oh, I don't think it's like. Is it psychic? I think it's normal flying, but it should have some psychic type moves, if I'm remembering correctly, which will be nice to get. But yeah, Gnaw at this stage with having some relatively weak Pokemon, it's not half bad. Obviously, Maggie is by far my best Pokemon at the moment, but I don't want to be putting that up against Charmander because it's a Steel type. Fire type Ember is gonna do a lot of damage to it, even with decent special defense on the Magnemite. Yeah, I had to stop and think for a second to get the name right. The Pokemon. But yeah, Nah wouldn't be half bad. The other option would be Serrano. because although it's fairly weak, it's at least decent attack, and it has Astonish now, so if it can outspeed Charmander, potentially, if I remember correctly, Astonish can cause flinch, so potentially cause flinch, which is good. And Astonish is, a lot better move for it. And learns Astonish at level 9, so when I finally get it fully leveled up to where I need it, it finally learns another move. Not very useful for this training, but I'll help in future. Of course, I definitely do not want to put Butters out there, or Maggie, because of the fire typing. I don't remember, is Bug actually weak to fire? I don't quite remember, I don't have my type chart out with me either. But I still don't want to risk putting Butters out there, especially since it only has Tackle. And Swell has some relatively weak defenses. Good attack, but weak defenses, so I don't want to risk that too much. And of course, I have no idea what the rival's other Pokemon will be, so that we'll just kind of have to figure out. But we just want to put Confetti out there first, in case Charmander is out there first, because it has good defenses, so it can take first Ember. I think that basically covers most everything for the stream. I'll have to... I'll have to cut that little tiny second out. You won't have seen it because I'll have cut it out afterwards. But I actually had to go over to a web browser for a second there. I forget why. I think I was needing to check up on something. But yeah, so yeah, there'll be a little cut there. Just because I don't want that showing up in the video. I also did a little bit of fishing there. I forgot what was in the water. Just figured, do some fishing just to see what's there and see how we can level up against it. It's Cascoon, which proves to be incredibly annoying because it only knows Harden, so I just ended up going back to the grass. But it basically covers everything that happens in this video, unless I notice something else coming up. I think there is like one Togepi fight I might want to make a note of later on. Well, with our Togepi or Confetti. But ooze. Too bad I can't catch that as well. I love me some Roserade, but I already got Confetti, which frankly, I love Roserade, but I love Togepi's more. Yeah, and Togekiss a lot more, considering that it's actually one of my favorite Pokemon. It's tied for first, whereas Roserade's more like, I'll be the top 10 somewhere. I don't know exactly where. But that pretty much covers most everything going on in the training montage here, unless, again, you notice something happening on the screen while I'm talking. But in terms of the series and videos and everything, it has, of course, been a while since I had a video up because, God, has work been awful. I've been having, previously, been working a lot of grocery shifts on top of, well, basically just 2 grocery shifts a week on top of all the courtesy I was already doing. I was getting over 30 hours a week, which is a lot when I was actually want 20 hours, and yet I'm getting over 30. That's a lot of extra time, per week that I could be spending on other things like videos I'm currently not able to spend it on. But the big thing was those grocery shifts and the timing of the grocery shifts. They're 8-hour shifts from 4 in the morning to noon. And for the record, I normally go to bed between 1 and 3 in the morning. And with 4 o'clock and a 4 a.m. shift, I would have to get up at the latest 3 a.m. if I were to try sleeping. So I would be going to bed within an hour or 2 of trying to get up. And one of 2 things happens in that situation when I'm trying to get some sleep and have to get up within a couple hours. Either I don't fall asleep at all because my body knows that I'm gonna need to be up really soon, so it just plain doesn't go to sleep. Or else I do go to sleep because I'm really freaking tired at the point because I've been up so long. And then I end up sleeping in past my alarm because the alarm isn't good enough to wake me up, and I'm late for work. That actually happened once. When I was just laying down, just getting some rest, wasn't even trying to go to sleep, and I ended up falling asleep, and I was late for work. So I basically just had to stay up all night and be up for over 24 hours by the end of things. And while I did have time before to the entire night to potentially work on stuff, I basically had to try and conserve as much energy as possible. And of course, with it being late, I couldn't voice record anything because it's late at night. So even if I was just recording a video of something, it is, or even if I record it earlier and try doing some editing at night, I have to try and conserve energy. And editing can be a bit of a energy sapper for me. There are some things that just take no energy for me, like creating my stories. I can do that whenever, with no problem. It just comes to me, and it's very easy for me to do. But when I'm trying to do actual more work, creating the story for me isn't work, but putting my story for my comics, putting it onto the page, writing out scripts, drawing stuff, that is actual work. And even if I enjoy it, it can still be difficult for me to do when it can take a lot of energy, because anything that's purely in my mind takes no energy at all. Actually working on stuff, that takes a lot of energy out of me. And so it applies to the videos as well. So it was hard to try and get anything done, and I wasn't really never able to get much of anything done, especially since I was actually focusing on the comic first and foremost, and still wasn't able to get much of anything done. Got very, very little work on the comic done over that month or two period that I was doing those shifts, and it was such a pain. I was tired and worn out, stressed out so much, but luckily that's over. I am now working in produce, and still getting way more hours than I want. Still getting to 28, 32 hours. But it's not at 4 in the morning. Yeah, it's better laid out. I'm going to have more 8-hour days instead of a bunch of 4 or 5-hour days. 2 8-hour days. The grocery shifts were 2 8-hour days, but the courtesies were all 5 hours. And they're all spread out. Hit my hand against the garbage can. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, the hours were more spread out than they are now. Now they're a little bit more, compacted into fewer number of days, which is a good thing, because the more days I have to work, well, that's more time lost to having to get ready and then coming back from work, waiting to come back from work. Plus, any time I end up having to work over the edge of my shift, which has been happening a lot with produce. The more days I have to work, even if it's the same number of hours, that's still more wasted time. And it's and also just the fact that I have to go to work breaks up the flow of the day. If I'm trying to get something done beforehand or afterward, it just kind of breaks things up, which doesn't help anything. So yeah, it's still a lot of hours. So Minecraft mishaps, actually getting to announcements here. Minecraft mishaps is still on hold. I will not have the time to do what I need to do in between episodes. There's a lot of work I need to do in between episodes now at this point with Minecraft mishaps, and I still don't have the time to do that. If I was working 20 hours instead of 28, I could do that. May not seem like much, but 28 hours, well, subtract 1 8-hour workday, that would be, in terms of time getting ready and everything, and getting unready, getting back to changing out of work clothes and booting everything back up after getting home. That's 8.5 to 9 hours. That's a lot of time. I could get a lot done in Minecraft in just 8.5 9 hours. I could just even if I set that entire time frame aside just for Minecraft, I could get a hell of a lot done. In fact, I could get everything I would need to be able to get done in between for in between episodes within that time, and probably still have some time left over to work on the comic. But I don't have that time, so yeah, I'm putting that time into Pokemon Platinum first and foremost, because it's I'm just now noticing that my mouse is actually on the screen. Yeah, I made a few mistakes in terms of recording settings, so you'll have to excuse me for that. Actually, I had forgotten to completely change over my settings from attempting to record some Terraria during, this time frame that I've been away. The Terraria recordings didn't work out in the end because I didn't beat the bosses, which is what I was trying to do. And when I did beat the bosses, I didn't record, either because I didn't think I was going to win. Cthulhu, I actually won through mutual destruction. It killed me, and then it died from fire damage. Oops. I was not expecting to win that fight. And then King Slime, I just plain forgot to record. And Eater of Worlds, I killed like 3 of them in 3 minutes. It wasn't even worth recording. I had Firebolt, so, it dies instantly. Whenever I do get back to playing Terraria, because it's actually been a little bit since I played Terraria, a couple weeks of produce now. And I was playing Terraria on those long nights before the grocery shifts. I haven't played it in a little bit. But whenever you do get back to that on expert mode, is what I was playing on, I'll be getting ready to face the Brain of Cthulhu, and then afterwards Skeletron. So I'll try to record that when I do get back to Terraria. But I'll be focusing on Pokemon Platinum here. Oh yeah, the recording. Yeah, I was mentioning. Yeah, I screwed up the recording settings. I actually recorded the did the forced to change the aspect ratio into 720p. So I had actually changed my pan crop settings here to re-squish the video back into the proper dimensions. And apparently I forgot to also change the setting where the mouse showed up. Because with, obviously, Pokemon Platinum, I have the settings so that the mouse doesn't show up, so that even if I have it on screen, it doesn't show. Obviously, I screwed that up, so I'll have to fix that for next time. Luckily, it was just in the training montage, so it's not as critical that I got a few screw-ups in the recording here. And of course, there's no audio recorded for this, even for the game audio. I was actually listening to some videos while doing the training, because it took forever. It took 2 hours to do this. And I knew it was going to take forever beforehand, because I actually tried recording before and got an hour into it before the freaking computer crashed and I lost the recording. Luckily, nothing had happened. No deaths or anything happened during the first attempt, so I didn't have to try carrying that over, which would have been a pain, carrying over a death while losing all the levels. That would have been awful. Luckily, that didn't happen. I was, very careful with how I trained both times. But it was still annoying to lose an hour of work. So annoying, in fact, that I just screwed, screw this, and just waited to do the recording a little later. Because I was originally trying to get this out last week for Saturday. Or end of last week for Saturday. But between that and then just work, I had work a lot at the end of the week. Of course, it's coming out here for, I guess, well, I'm recording this on Sunday. Technically, the proper day for this coming out would be Tuesday, but I might end up getting it out early on Monday. Well, you'll know for sure whenever this thing is actually out. But yeah, script recording. I'll have to make sure I fix that next time. But yeah, Minecraft Mishaps is on hold because I just don't have the time for it, unfortunately. Which is annoying, but there's not much I can do. In fact, there's nothing I can do in terms of what I'm working, because the company doesn't give a crap about what I want. Doesn't give a crap about the fact that they're working me way too many hours and completely abusing my availability. But, let's see, I'm not going to be able to miss Minecraft Mishaps. Of course, I still can't do Survive until I get the new computer, which is annoying, because, if I wasn't able to do Minecraft, if I was able to still do Survive, I could say, oh, well, I'll just do Survive instead. No, can't do that either, at least until I get the new computer. Just 1 or 2 more months, that's it. September, October is when as I've said before, is when I'll be able to get this. At least I think I've said this before. I've at least said this in other videos that I've recorded that haven't come up yet, but, yeah, so September or October is when I'm going to be getting the computer here, so within the next month or 2. It's exciting. I'm finally be able to get back to drawing, get back to doing Civ 5. I'm going to be focusing on Pokemon Platinum here, but to try and make up for the fact that I'm, losing more and more videos than I'm posting, obviously Pokemon Platinum here will be twice a week still. But, to make up for the loss of Minecraft mishaps, at least a little bit, and to just try and get more content out on the channel. And since I already have to do part of what the video entails to begin with, just have to do the active recording and then putting it into a video, I will be doing some Pokemon trading card game unboxings. To fit in with the fact I'm doing, Pokemon stuff now. Yeah, I've actually have two sets of videos already recorded. The first set won't be out immediately. I will release them over time, but they aren't as very good quality. The video recording I have to do with an actual picture camera, and have to video record with that. Not the best solution, but it's the only thing I have that has even somewhat decent video quality. The only other thing I have is a webcam, but it's not that good of quality. At least with the camera, I can get 720p. So I can get an actual HD resolution, so you can see the cards better. But there were a number of issues with the video quality, getting used to the autofocus, because it only does autofocus for the video taking, as compared to actual picture taking, where you can do the focus yourself, and getting the white balance and the brightness contrast settings correct. I didn't get it right the first time, first couple times really, but the second set of recordings it looks a lot better. And I'm also a little bit more used to the autofocus and getting things into focus and keeping things at least relatively in focus. So the video quality is much better, and the audio quality is a little bit better too, as I figured out a slightly better setup for the microphone. Since I actually have to do it on my bed, so that's the only surface in which I actually have available to open stuff. But yeah, I do have a set of videos already recorded. I actually recorded it 2 weeks ago, but I've been waiting to put it out until I got this video up first. And I'm actually, as of the time I'm recording this, so just before this day or two before this thing actually comes out, actually just got in some Agent Origin stuff, so I'll be recording that stuff today as well. And that stuff won't come out until the first, well, technically the second set of videos, but the first set of videos I'm releasing gets out. And also another reason why I didn't want to get that very first group out first is because I would like to have the stuff that's I'm doing now, get that up on the channel, and not delay things even further than what they already kind of are, because it's going to be a couple weeks at least to get the first set of videos out. The first set of videos I'm putting out, and the set that I'm about to record is probably going to be another couple weeks worth of stuff. So yeah, it's going to take a while to get all that stuff out. But yeah, it's just a little thing. I'm already unboxing all this stuff anyways. I have to in order to get the cards out. And I am wanting to get into the Pokemon trading card game, so I figured why not give my own take on unboxings, especially since I'm going to be playing the game, so I can actually talk about the cards and how good or bad they are, as well as the artwork as an artist. What I like and dislike about things, particularly. Oh shit, no! You'll understand my reasons for that little cry when we actually get to the unboxings. But Yoshinu, God, why does he keep getting the freaking EXs? But yeah, it's just an extra thing to get up on the channel. I figured it'd be kind of fun to put up there. And it also gets something extra out of all of these cards that I'm buying. I get some videos out of it, so it just works well all around. And I'll have a couple of those up this week. Don't know exactly what days I'll put them up. They'll basically be up whenever I can get them up. The only regularly scheduled thing right now will be Pokemon Platinum here. The trading card game unboxings will be as I can get them up, although I'll try to be somewhat consistent in the number at least, which I'll of course figure out over these first couple weeks as I figure out how long does it take to actually edit this stuff, because the recording is all done in like one big batch, or a couple big batches. It's all done at once, but the editing and uploading is what I'll have to kind of figure out, and the work that'll require for that. But we're getting at the end of the video here. We're it looks like we got everyone up to level 9. I was just looking through, checking everyone's stats, and going back to heal up all the PP, and then take one last look through the Pokemon. You could try pausing, whenever they come up if you want to double check things. I'll go over them a little bit more slowly in the next actual full episode. But yeah, as I said, Pokemon Platinum will still be on the regular schedule. I'll update the schedule on the channels for Minecraft Mishaps being delayed. And we'll get some Pokemon Trading Card Game stuff out as I try and work around my awful work schedule. That'll be it for now. See you guys next time.